Well, we're back in the attic. And last time we were up here, we showed you guys Accucraft's very first brass engine in ostensibly 1/2 inch scale. Might actually be 1/2 inch scale, but they marketed it. It just seems that it's actually too big for that. They did one more brass engine in 1/2 inch scale before they gave up on that, and the whole industry pretty much gave up on that, and everybody said, you know, 20.3 is accurate. So everybody changed to the larger scale. This was the other brass engine that they did. That other one doesn't go in or out of the box very easily, and this one
much better.
A much betterer designer. But this time they did the Mogul. And when I found out they were doing the Mogul, it's like, well, I bought the American because it looked suspiciously like Dan's Eureka and Palisade No. 4. The Mogul looks suspiciously like the Glenbrock.
Yes, it sure does.
And I was going to paint it the Glenbrock. Now you can see this one's painted where the other one was not, but this one's not lettered. And when I saw the beautiful paint job, really based on a Rio Grande paint job, I said, you know, I'm not going to paint it Glenbrock. For one thing, Glenbrook would be so hard to do. And then Bachmann came out with the Glenbrook.
Oh,
so
did,
yeah, and the Bachmann version is gorgeous. Here again, the Bachmann is 120.3, and you can sit it right next to this one, and this isn't that much smaller.
Yes. To
say this is supposed to be 1/2 inch. So I really think both of these engines were actually done in 22 scale, the LGB scale.
Right.
Or they just, because the proportions are all correct, they're just a wee bit large. If you set this next to a Delton 1/2 inch scale, it's just noticeably larger than the Delton. So I don't know exactly what's the what with that or why is the why with that. I paid $1,200 for this one. That was just kind of the going rate. I got a good deal on the other one. And lettered and everything, they were a little bit more, but I didn't want it lettered because I wanted to be able to change that.
Right.
Anyway, there it is. The Accucraft Mogul, the second brass engine that they ever did.
Wow.
And the only other thing that they did their original boxcar.
Oh.
Ostensibly in 1/2 inch scale, and I've never seen one of those to know how accurately 1/2 inch scale they are, but the engines seem large. And it comes out of here quite easily. That first box was
that's a headache.
Not good.
Right.
Here again, amazingly heavy engines. You get a hold of their big Mikados and stuff, and don't be surprised that they weigh 35 pounds.
Oh, easy.
This doesn't weigh anything like that, but it's still
a chunk of
20
metal.
pounds, maybe. It's still just really, really heavy.
Wow.
Here again, the front of the engine's
It's
come
off.
off.
It sure has. I wonder what's the deal with that. Of course, you do need to be able to get in there.
Yeah, those have to be removable so you can get to the headlight wiring and so on and so forth.
Right.
But
the detail is amazing.
there it is.
Oh my.
And they did just a heck of a grand job on these things. And
Oh, a work of art.
beautifully, beautifully done. Here's the air pump side. They've been modeled with the air pumps where some of these engines, the original builds on them wouldn't have had the air pumps because that was before they had air brakes. But then air brakes were added, and these have been modeled with the air brakes on. So it could just be a slightly later manufacturing date of the original engine, or it could be a refit because all these engines were fit. Every locomotive in America was fit with air brakes once they became available. So it does have the air pump. Not a compound, just a regular air pump. Good, good backhead detail here. Just a really nice, heavy, well-built, marvelously detailed locomotive. You can understand why Accucraft went on to be the definitive company. Now, some other companies like Berlin went on to make more detailed engines, and we'll be looking at a Berlin engine at some point in time.
Yes.
But the Accucrafts have the advantage of being able to actually run around the backyard.
Oh,
Where something
nice.
like a Berlin, you look at them funny and details fall off. There's just so much detail there, and they tend to be
Fragile.
These are much more robust, even though some pieces are kind of removable. They're actually pretty robust.
Right.
Pretty operational engines, the kind of thing that you can actually feel really comfortable about running around even out in your backyard.
Of course, that would be fun.
So we will do that.
We are going
First
to
we
do
have
that.
to lay some track.
We'll get there.
We're getting there.
We're getting
there. We'll do it.
It took a long time to get where we are.
That's right. Well, if you haven't been to the channel, navigate over to Toyman Television and take a look at the channel. And almost 300 movies there now.
It's right there.
And that's pretty cool. Lots of stuff to see. And if you're not a subscriber, you might want to be a subscriber so you can be notified when we upload things. Always nice to be a subscriber. Good for you and good for us too.
Right.
Now, we have our historic blue button, which will be appearing here. Zoink! And it may not work because they've kind of just, they don't want us to use that blue button anymore. But dang it, we're hanging on to it because it's a tradition. But it doesn't appear on half of the devices, and it doesn't really work on much of any of the devices anymore. But on a desktop computer, it's there and it actually works. Beyond that, it doesn't work at all. So zoink! There's the traditional button, and zoink! Here's the new improved large button up here. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here again on Sunday with the Sunday Drive.
See ya.
See ya. Bye-bye.